Let's take a few minutes and talk about uncoupling tracks and operating uncoupling tracks. The uncoupling track allows you to uncouple your freight cars. And basically all it is a section of fast track with an electromagnet in the middle. This electromagnet is encased in plastic so that when your train goes over it, the collectors or the pickup rollers on the cars and locomotives don't short out. Again, this is just an electromagnet. So when you press the uncouple button, what you're doing is you're completing the circuit. The power from the center rail comes out, goes into the controller, comes out of the controller back to the electromagnet. It gets its ground from the outside rails. When you press the button, you turn the electromagnet on, it energizes and pulls the plunger down on the coupler, which in turn releases the knuckle and uncouples the car. The fast track uncoupling sections come with one piece of 5-inch straight and then a 5-inch straight that has the uncoupler built in, or the electromagnet built in. The second type of track that we have, operating track, is called an operating uncoupling track. And this is effectively the same thing that we have here with the uncoupling track with the electromagnet in the center, but it also features 4 additional rails. There are certain cars that we produce that have a slide shoe on it. That slide shoe, there's a slide shoe on each truck, and they're offset typically. So when they come onto that track and the train is stopped over top of these rails and the slide shoes are contacting these activation rails, one side of the electromagnet on these rails is AC hot, and the other side of these rails opposite of the hot are AC ground. So basically all we're doing is we're triggering power and ground to those slide shoes to create the animation inside the car. Typically cars with slide shoes are the horse cars or cattle cars used with the horse corral or the cattle yard, the operating milk unloading car with the platform, and there are some two bin dump cars and other dump cars out there that have slide shoes. The operating uncoupling track and the uncoupling track both get their power from the center rail. Now earlier in a video we talked about phasing our transformers and why that was important. That's important because on devices such as the operating uncoupling track or the uncoupling track, we want to operate these devices at a fixed voltage, as opposed to using power from the center rail, which is variable based on how fast the train is going or what voltage we have that throttle set to. If we use a fixed voltage, it's the same all the time, whether the train is running or stopped. And it's real simple on fast track devices to make these a constant voltage. On the underside of the operating uncoupling track, the terminals from the controller are color coded. We've got green, blue, black, and red. Now red connects to our center rail. That's where the power is coming from. Black is connected to the outside rails. Providing our transformers are in phase, we can remove the terminal with the red shrink tube on it and connect this to our 14-volt hot fixed voltage terminal on our accessory transformer. This way, the activation rails and the magnetic uncoupling track will all operate at a fixed 14 volts. It'll prevent milk cans from flying out of the cars and bending the rails on the platform. It'll prevent your plunger from making a hideous noise when it comes down and touches that insulated electromagnet. It'll prevent the magnet from overheating if you press and hold the uncouple button for too long. Again, very simple. The track stays connected. The green, blue, and black wires all stay connected. They don't change. You simply remove the red terminal from the center rail underneath and connect this to your 14-volt AC fixed accessory power. And both the unloading or operating rails and the electromagnet will work reliably at 14 volts. On the uncoupling track, it's very much the same. Once again, we have color-coded terminals, red and black. We simply take the red wire and disconnect it from underneath the rail, underneath the track. This red terminal gets connected to your 14-volt AC fixed hot lead on your accessory transformer. Then, regardless of whether the train is running or stopped, you have a constant 14 volts going to your uncoupling magnet. So when you activate the button, 14 volts makes a nice quiet sound, not loud and obnoxious, uncouples the car, everything works reliably.